Oh, that's brilliant. All right. Norway, Sweden, and Denmark have each had the highest living standards, balanced education systems, healthiest prison systems, happiest citizens, and have generally stood as an unequivocal representation of a more humane example of a modern society that's intermingled with market forces and pressures. They're not perfect, but with all their flaws, they're still a healthy outlier that we can learn from. So how did they manage to make it through these last few hundred years of capitalist machinery, its infinite growth obligations, and its corrupting effect on institutions for higher learning, our medical institutions, our food production, and art? One of the main factors is that about 150 years ago, they chose to invest a lot of energy into empowering their people to take the time to understand and discover themselves before choosing a direction to take as agents of their socio-economic system. Their leaders were influenced by existentialist philosophers who knew that the key to a healthy society was healthy, self-aware, and self-actualized people. They knew that if the people were given the opportunity to find their inner compass, to learn to know themselves and discover what they had to offer the world, the opportunity to discover the language of nature that's always speaking from within. If they had the space and time to access that, then they'd be educated with a specific kind of self-guided wisdom that would serve the individual and the whole system in ways that go beyond what could be predicted in the moment. They understood that it was the best investment for the infinitely uncertain and forever changing world. So they established retreat centers all around the region, specifically for inner growth and development. By the year 1900, Denmark had 100 of these retreats, 75 in Norway, and Sweden had 150. Young adults were able to spend 6 months in retreat to find and develop their inner compass, their true identity and direction in life. No system, philosophy, or country has got it all figured out, but each one has figured out some things. And in the Scandinavian case, they've proven that we thrive and create healthier, more humane societies when we get the chance to know ourselves first. The idea was simple. If you want a peaceful and free society, then aim to have peaceful and free citizens. So let's make retreat centers that liberate the minds, bodies, and souls of the population. That way we all benefit from the untapped potential that every person has to offer, but most of the time never gets a chance to grow. So they chose to build those hubs for human development, and the results are what have separated them from the rest of the industrialized world. A critical point is that some say Scandinavians can be quite uniform, that there's too much of a focus on the average center point of potential. Staying well within the arc of society's bell curve, the national saying in Sweden is lagom, meaning don't do too much, do just the right amount. To a Western ear, that saying might sound like a call to the average, but could also be interpreted with an Eastern ear as a national pursuit of balance. Today we have an opportunity to do the same, but not just for one region of the world. We can do this collectively everywhere. In the physical world, we invest in spaces that facilitate the development of peace, art, character, ethics, wisdom, physical health, and inner spiritual insight. We could call this a general direction that most would agree is desirable and healthy. That general direction is something we could call a planetary ideal. Impossible and ridiculous, they'll say, but I ask you, what would a planetary ideal look like? Leave your ideas on what a planetary ideal would look like in the comments. I know I don't know enough to answer the question definitively, but I can answer what I know would be a good step. It would look like every capable person living into their highest potential through their passion and talent. By doing this, we'd be assured the best allocation of energy and skills towards the task that our civilization needs completed. Those with passions for engineering would pursue those passions. Those with passions for art and music would pursue those passions. Entrepreneur types, manifesting generators would pursue their passions for starting new projects and so on. But they'd all be guided by ethics and principles first established in retreat during a phase of self-discovery. It would look like a planet where the focus is on giving everyone the space to discover their unique capabilities and genius, for them then to offer that talent for the benefit of all. This would benefit the civilization and the individual's pursuit of further learning and growth in their given area of interest. So it's the people's passions that solve the civilization's difficulties proactively, solving problems before they arise with ease from the ground up and not retroactively from the top down, from government or other institutions that have to force individuals into inappropriate roles and jobs through the controlling forces of wages or short-sighted financial incentives. Those incentives have been causing depression, meaninglessness, and existential despair for several of our generations, because those incentives are disconnected from and pushing against larger planetary boundaries, and deeper personal, social, and psycho-spiritual ones too. What the soul is missing is feeling connected, seen, understood, as we piece together the mystery of life and what's really going on here beyond our illusions, knowing deep down that there's never really a final answer, just an ongoing process we get to share in the miracle of existence. As a planet, we can give ourselves the space and time to recalibrate, to reassess what it is that we're doing here. For those who can, it's never been more important to see where our heart, talent, and intelligence can be directed for the health and balance of self and all. Today there's still some individual cultures, but most of them are mixing and then becoming a part of making global culture. Our friends and connections are scattered around the world, our communities are too. It's important that we have spaces where our decentralized culture can find a center, and this is the direction at Kairos.